computer. Welcome to another conversation about how to fix the Democratic Party in Indiana. We are so thrilled to have Evelyn Brown with us today. And Evelyn is the Clay County Democratic Party chair. And she has a great story about how she became the chair. And we're going to talk about what she's doing there in Clay County and what more she plans to do in the future. So Evelyn, thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
and I want you to first just tell us how you became county chair. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, I volunteered in a lot of different things. I was victims advocate for several years. I volunteered on the legislative team at AARP, and just done a lot of things. And I found that I'm doing these volunteer things to help people because of the inequality and the hardships that they face. I've always been a good Democrat, and since I was in high school. And in 2018, when they said, Evelyn, why don't you run? I just, thought, yeah, if not now, when? If not me, who? So that was one of the best experiences I ever had, was knocking on doors in 6 counties, 5 to 7 days a week, and meeting people and listening to them on how they felt. And that's when I realized social media makes it look like we're all fighting and hate each other. But when you sit one-on-one with a Republican or an independent, we're not that far off. We all kind of want the same thing. But there's a few things that we argue about, but nobody should get everything. We have to compromise to come together. And so that's where I'm here. And we've just got to get the word out. We have to inform people of things. They just don't understand the process, and it's not their fault. Nobody's ever taught them. They need to be taught. But that's why I'm where I am right now. Hopefully make a difference.
That's excellent. So yeah, so after running in 2018 and you didn't make it, but it was just outstanding that you stepped up, and other candidates did the same thing. Edie Hardcastle is another great example of someone who ran, didn't make it, but then stepped up to take leadership of her county party and really move it forward.
Right.
So tell us what you believe are really like some of the most important skills for a county chair.
I think you have to listen to people. You've got to listen to their ideas. You have to listen to the problems that they have, and you have to compromise. You have to guide. You have to throw out ideas, and you need to find out when you bring new people in. And I've done this forever in any organization I'm in. At the volunteer level, it's what do you feel comfortable? Give them something that they feel comfortable doing. Don't throw them. It's like, you've got to do this, because they might not feel comfortable with that. And just, find good Democrats and put them to work at what they do best. And I think that's one of the, I think you'll gather more people and give them credit for what they do. I mean, so many people, work their tail end off, and, especially when we lose, they feel like it's all for naught, and it really isn't. We are moving forward. It's not going to happen overnight, but we are moving forward, and we are making a difference, and that's the important thing.
I think you're so right. That is one of the complaints that I've heard most often about the party at the local level, is really just not nobody's embracing volunteers, working with them, listening to them, pulling them into the fold, helping them find something that they love to do and that they will succeed at doing. And that makes a good county chair. I think that's great. And of course, your great positive attitude. You're absolutely right. After the election, it can be really stinging when there's not a great outcome, but there's so much to talk about still, even in the loss. What happened? Where can we do better? Where can we find niches of votes that we can draw into our to support our candidates? So I sent you a list of the activities that I think are important for Democratic Party to conduct. And I'm going to read that list because I think it's so important, and I really want to get these out there. I think locally, we've kind of suggested that our county chair have a cabinet of team leaders, each of whom is uh, carrying out this particular activity and is held accountable by the county chair, and who can pull in volunteers to help them and keep them accountable as well.
Right.
So here are the biggest areas I think are the most important. So of course, candidate recruitment and candidate support, volunteer recruitment, volunteer training, and volunteer appreciation, which I think is, it's a follow through issue that I think people don't pay enough attention to.
I agree.
Precinct chair and vice precinct chair training and network. There's many precinct committee chairs who were appointed, who don't live in their precincts, which I think is a problem, and who don't know what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And so it's not getting done. They're not out there, getting to know people in their neighborhood, developing more committee structures in their precinct so that they are reaching more people in their precinct and developing relationships, gathering good data, et cetera, and pulling them together to help each other out in that networking function. Of course, voter registration is a big one. Get out the vote is another big activity that needs to get a lot of attention. Civics education, like you have talked to me previously about people not really understanding the importance of who should be elected as a county commissioner or a county council person or a county treasurer. I won't tell you our story in LaPorte County about our county auditor and assessor. It's a long story anyway, but those are important roles, and people need to learn what those people do, and they need to know how to learn more about the person who's running for those positions.
Yes.
So it's really a civics education, can be done in schools as well as in other community organizations. Year-round community service. Democrats believe in community service. This is one of the things that Democrats do. Almost all Democrats I know, besides working for the Democratic Party, supporting candidates, they also are involved in all kinds of other nonprofit organizations and activities in their community. And so the Democratic Party needs to be visible and really express their commitment to community service on a year-round basis, not during just the campaign season. And year-round engagement with voting blocks, constituents out there. We've heard people say African Americans feel like, oh, the Democrats show up in election year, then they go away, and that's that is not cool. We
Yes.
we need to be engaging with communities of color and other constituencies all the time, year round. And so there should be somebody who's maintaining that kind of connection. And then of course fundraising, which nobody likes. Somebody must like it. I'm not sure who. I am. So of those, and there's there could be more that I don't know about. Those are the ones that I thought were important. Of those, Evelyn, tell us which you think are the most important, and what kind of plans you have to address some of those activity needs.
Well, it's a challenge right now, but good candidate recruitment and support is extremely important. And it's when I ran, I can't complain because I had a lot of people that would knock on doors for me. They signed up for it. And I don't know what I would have done without them, because I couldn't cover every single door. But it's so important that you've got a team behind you that believes in you and that will help send you forward, give you better ideas than what you might have. And that's key, I think, no doubt about it. The volunteer training and appreciation, you talked about that. I couldn't say anything more about that. I think the voter registration, I've always said if Democrats would just get up and go out and vote, we could win every election, but they don't. And they're getting a whole lot better. I've seen that. But we need to make it easy and available for all people to vote on, not just Democrats, but for everybody to vote. And the get out to vote, boy, I have some elderly people, and, bless their hearts, they have a million questions, and you've got to make sure you take care of them, because the more you do for people in your area, the more they talk to other people, and say, you know what, contact this Democrat, they can help you. And that the word of mouth is the best advertisement. And if we can do that as Democrats, help everybody do whatever it is they need to do, I think that would help us too, so that we're not demo rats and all these other things that were horrible names that were called. But we've just got to get that one-on-one basis, because like I said, if they know, if one-on-one, there's a totally different animal than at a convention or a rally or whatever, because we really do all want about the same thing. We talked about last year, we started talking about the year-round Democrat Party community service, and that's what we were good. We were all set to do that. It was like serve it fish fries. We have a lot of fish fries around here. We have a small county or township that has weekly dinners, and they're always asking for desserts. And we could supply all of the desserts, and just little things like that. Just show up and let them get to know who you are and why you are there. And is to help, because that's what Democrats do. Democrats help people, and I think that's very, very important. So
those are great, great ideas. And I think I'm very excited about Carly Mazer stepping up to run for the state party chair. As you know, in March, county chairs will be elected by precinct committee chairs and vice chairs, and 1 week later, those newly elected county chairs will elect congressional district Democratic chairs and officers. And then 1 week after that, the state central committee, on which the congressional district chairs sit, along with some others, will elect the state Democratic Party chair. And I'm sure, as you know too, John Zodi, current state party chair, is resigning. He's not interested in running again. And Carly Mazer has stepped up. And she's worked with us. She worked when I was working with our 29 outstanding women candidates in 2020. She was right there with us and was very supportive and helped all of our candidates. And she does know how to reach out and wrap her arms around people. And I'm very excited about that, because I know that one of the things that she really emphasizes is volunteer appreciation. And I've heard people say it, I've never seen it around here, but apparently after the election, Democratic parties chairs hold events where they have like a pizza party for all the volunteers and cookies, and good idea.
Yeah, that is a great idea. And I think Carly's just a little bundle of energy. She's, when she was a legislator, she was in a big city area, but she comes from Bridgeton, or she has family in Bridgeton. She helped knock on doors. That's a tiny little area. So I think she can really relate to every county chair, because whether you're country or whether you're big city, she understands where you're coming from. So I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, and we've all heard that one of our Democratic Party failings was not embracing rural voters.
Absolutely, yep.
And so I think
we do kind of feel like we're out here, by ourselves, that they don't care. I would like to see, people in power come to the small areas and just, keep us updated and make us know that our votes as important as downtown Indianapolis is, or Evansville, or whatever, because that really is important as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I think Carly, like you said, she has roots in small town Indiana, ended up near Indianapolis, and so I think she does have a good understanding for both rural and urban voters in Indiana.
Yeah,
so I'm very excited about her running. But I think all of the things that you have mentioned are just great, and I'm so excited to be able to talk to wonderful Democratic Party county chairs. I have to admit that while I was working with all those wonderful women in 2020, I heard a lot of really, defeating stories about the support that they were or were not getting from the local Democratic parties. And
Right.
so but this is our time. This is the opportunity. This is the time to, it's a non-election year. This is the time to pull it together, reorganize, reinvigorate, set out the goals, find people who can take pieces of those goals and make them happen
Yes.
all over the state. So this is our chance, and I'm very excited. And so, and as you know, I came to you to ask you to come and talk because you're doing a great job. You're doing an
Thank you.
outstanding job, and it's really great to see some of the great county chairs out there. And I want to share that with other counties, and particularly women who are now newly interested in participating in the Democratic Party.
Right.
So, so
Well,
I'm just very excited.
I have to thank you, your group, for bringing it to everybody's attention and being so active and outgoing, and making people feel at ease with how they think and what they do. That's, your group has really done an excellent job and has made a difference.
Oh, isn't that nice? Well, that's nice of
Yeah.
you to say. And that's, that's the goal, is to really, help women become a part of what is their party.
Right.
I think they haven't felt like that. They haven't felt like they have, they own this party. They do.
Right.
And I want them to be, I want them to own it and understand it and own it and use it
Right.
to
Exactly.
really create better leadership.
Wear it with confidence. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to
Yeah.
be proud Democrats. Well, I mean, I'm sick of people not admitting they're a Democrat because, people's gonna, call them names. It's like, nope, we've got to be proud Democrats, or they'll continue to get to you. You've got to come out and say, nope, I'm proud to be a Democrat. Really proud.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. And I want women to own this party.
That's right. Own it. Yep. Own it with confidence. That's right. Exactly right.
And,
Exactly.
we need more women in leadership all over, in the party, outside the party, everywhere.
Yep.
So this is an excellent opportunity for women to really take leadership and make real change in Indiana.
Yep. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
Great. All right. So we're almost out of time. So Evelyn, anything else you'd like to share before we sign off? Anything important? Any words of wisdom you'd like to impart on us?
I think that we can really make a big difference by take this year and use it wisely and come out in 2022, gangbusters. I really do. Get to know people one-on-one. And the one thing that I've thought of over and over again is, I will not call on social media, call people names, point fingers, accuse them of being anything. All I will do is fact check. That's all you can do, is fact check from a reasonable source. Because if we want some of the people that are on the fence to become Democrats, we can't insult them and then invite them in. We've got to listen to them and tell them why our side is probably more of their liking, rather than calling them idiots and this, that, and the other. I just can't do that. I won't do it, because we need all of them, all the independents, all the Republicans that are on the fence. We need them over here, and we can show them that we can make a big difference in their lives and the lives of the people that they love, and in Indiana all the way around. And insulting them is not the way to do it.
That's great. All right. And that is actually a terrific piece of wisdom. Thank you very much. All right. We're going to sign off. Stay tuned. We'll have more of these conversations, and Evelyn maybe will join us again to talk about what else we can do to make the Democratic Party better in Indiana. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Deb.